Hello and welcome. Today we are going to be creating some contacts as well as a MPS survey inside of Oracle. So here we have our SurveyMonkey survey, and I do have one recipient here, and I want to move this to Oracle. I want to create them as a contact inside of my Oracle environment, and I also want to create um, their feedback in this MPS survey. So using SyncFrog, we are going to create a new data leap, and we're using SurveyMonkey to send out the survey, and we're going to use Oracle, and we're going to click on next here, next, and we're going to select our deployment. So we're going to say our MPS survey, and we're going to say all collectors because I want all the information from how I sent it out. So there was the URL and a email. So I'm going to say all collectors because I want all the information. Also, our credentials that we're using for Oracle. And we're going to say example for contact. And then we're going to click on create. And we'll say, okay, take me to the mapping. And the first mapping thing that we want to do is we want to create them as a contact. So I'm going to click on this drop down menu and we're going to say contact and we're going to select add new section. Now one nice thing about SyncFrog is we can do multi-part mapping. So in our first part here, I want to update existing or create a new contact. And we have to tell it what value we want to either update the existing or create new. The most unique thing that we can do is the email address, typically. So we can say email, and I can say email on the Oracle side. And we can have SyncFrog make our decision here if they find multiple records. I want to create the last modified as the one that I want to use. And we also have our lovely auto map fields. So we're going to go ahead and click on that. As always, anytime you have anything automated, you want to validate that the data is correct. So we have email going to email, first name to short, first name, last name to short, last name. And then these are all duplicated and the IP address is wrong. So I'm just going to select those and click on the delete. Okay, so we have our email address, first name, and last name. Now, you'll notice that it says respondent email. We're actually getting this information from SurveyMonkey because when I deployed this using their email capability, I used the email address and provided their first name and last name. So I have that. Now we've got this to create or update the existing contact. I also want to add a new feedback object. Inside of Oracle, you'll see that even if your object has a name, so in my case, we have an object called feedback. I'd like to put this in. Oracle only uses a custom object when it passes that stuff over. So we're going to select on custom object 1. I know it's custom object 1 because I built the object. And we're going to click on add new section. So we have our create new record. So I want to create a new record every single time that this is sent out. And I'm going to click on map new field. We have our SurveyMonkey question, which is our very first question. How likely is it would you recommend? And I'm going to send that to our satisfaction field in our feedback object. I'm also going to map the text field I had over. What could we do better, if anything? And that's going to go to our comments field. And you'll see that it says comment text long. And I also want to reference our contact here to our records. So inside of our custom object here, we have our contact ID, which it's grabbing from our first one. So the first one's going to update existing or create new, and then we can reference that contact as our contact ID. Now, in order for us to create this record, we also have to give it a name, as all records have to have a name. So we are going to use a fixed value field here, and we'll just call it MPS Type Survey. And that's going to go into our name field. So I can type in name, And there it is. So now that we have that set up, we have our first question going to our satisfaction, our comments, referencing our created or updated contact, and our name going to our name. We can go ahead and click on Save. Excellent. So now that it has been saved, you'll see that we have our SurveyMonkey to Oracle, and I can go ahead and click on Activate. I'm going to run this now, and depending on what package you have, you may have the create schedule or not. I'm just going to run this now because I only have one record, and we should be able to get our SurveyMonkey data into Oracle here. Now it's just grabbing the data, and we have our one record processed. Excellent. So we have our one record processed. If we click on OK, and I go back to Oracle and I refresh this page, we should have our new records. So that is Max Power that we saw inside of SurveyMonkey. And if I click on them, this is their new contact. So there's their email and Max Power. Now you'll also see that if I go into our feedback object here, we should have our newly created feedback, which is our Nps Type survey. And here is our satisfaction and our comment. You also see that our contact list is expanded, and we have Max's information as well. And that's how you simply set up mapping from SurveyMonkey to Oracle. Thank you, and have a great day.